Yep. Upside down from a moving car.
Hey everybody, we are back. Happy Endings, episode 34. Holy Gully, Nick D. Nicole in the house. We are freshly fed, crisis averted. Man, I have been sleeping like ass lately.
Really?
Yeah, well, I got another prescription for Ambien, which I occasionally get maybe once a year or so, and I have like 30 pills, and I use them periodically, like a quarter of a pill or a half a pill throughout the year. And I've noticed this last time that when I've taken it, it's great for the night that you take it, but for about a week afterwards, it screws with my sleep and I have nightmares. And I've been getting nightmares and waking up in the middle of the night and just restless and not able to go to sleep. It's like my body's like, oh, Ambien, hey, we love that stuff. Can you have some more? Can I 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 have some more? It's like, no, because you're asking. If you ask, you don't get it. Oh. So my sleep has been kind of goofy.
Ambien, I reacted to Ambien like a lot of people do, is where it's almost like they black out.
Yeah, I don't have the blackout unless I mix it with alcohol.
I would get up in the morning. I would get up in the morning. And I'd go, what the hell is this? Or what, or I'd get on the computer. It's like,
who am I?
Why did I send? What do you mean? I sent this email off. I would continue normally, like I am right now. Like if I took Ambien, right, I might not remember recording the show. And it wasn't like I did anything stupid, and I didn't jump off the house. Everything was exactly as I would do it normally, except it just erased it. And I found that very scary, so I never took it again.
Don't mind me, I'm getting a blanket because I think it's like, 65 degrees outside? I'm freezing.
Yeah, it's like 30 over here, yeah. I just was shoveling snow during the break.
Yeah, the weather here, winter always makes me feel like such a pussy. Because I know that I'm complaining about how I'm chilly in the house. It's a little chilly. I have to turn up the heater because it's 62 outside. And I feel really, I am aware that I suck, but it doesn't stop me from sucking. Yes, it still doesn't warm me up. Doesn't make me any warmer when I know that I'm being of kind of a ditz about it.
Hey, AC Race in the chat room. We were talking about Warframe on our last show. We were talking about you. We need help. Edie and I need help. Nick knows everything about it. But
no, Nick doesn't know everything, but he knows more than us.
Nick talks
He's the smartest idiot in the village at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude. I smart.
A village somewhere is missing an idiot.
So yeah, I'm oh man, it's chilly. I know. You're all in like 12 degrees out in the Midwest. Man, that storm is just you East Coast is just getting fucked over. And we got a couple of weeks of chilly weather, and that was it. Actually not even by your standards, but by our standards, we were dying. And then on top of it, you don't have it out there, but we have something in Bay Area. Actually, I don't know if it's California or if it's just the Bay Area, called Spare the Air Days, where it is illegal to burn anything in your fireplace. You can't even put a piece of paper in your fireplace because the circulation, the air is such that it's not really moving around, or it's coming from inland. So there's a lot of particulate matter in the air. So they say that you cannot, unless the fireplace is the only source of heat in your home. You can't burn wood, you can't burn a Duraflame, you can't burn your mail, you can't even look at your fireplace, and you're supposed to get a ticket, and it's apparently pretty expensive. Of course, nobody ever pays attention to it. Everybody burns shit because we're cold and that's why we have a fireplace. But it always seems that the temperature will dip down into like the 40s, which for us is really, really freaking cold. And then be like, oh, can't burn anything in your fireplace. It's a Spare the Air Day. Oh, okay, great. And then once the temperature gets up to 70, it's like, okay, no Spare the Air. You can burn all you want. It's like, I don't need to burn it now. It's warm. It only happens as soon as it gets cold, then it's a Spare the Air Day. So, everybody just
judge that.
What
is their reasoning?
Their reasoning is that they do check the particulate matter in the air to see how much junk is in the air, and when it reaches a certain level, they say, okay, spare the air, or where the air is coming from. Like if the wind is coming from the south, meaning that it's essentially the Central Valley and all that area where people don't, there's a lot of pollution in California, but it's all kind of south of us. So if it comes from the south, then we're getting all the pollution and dumps into our air, and we don't want to be Los Angeles, which, don't get me wrong, beautiful sunsets. But those beautiful red sunsets are there for a reason. It's because the smog there is so bad. Oh my God. Wow, I lived there for a year. Man, that's the smog there, horrible. But because of the fact that we're getting all the smog from down south, it'll pull it up here, up into Northern California, and then they say, okay, well, we can't burn anything. It's like, screw you. I'm not going to freeze because Los Angeles is a trash pile. So, yeah.
Where do you go to, actually see when they say it's spare the air? Because I have never known when it's a spare the air day.
News reports, weather reports on the television, weather reports on the radio. Or
so
there's
if you
a
don't
spare...
look at weather reports,
then you won't know. But ignorance is not an excuse. If you're burning a log in your house and the Bay Area Air Quality Management Board dude is walking by or driving by and sees that there's smoke coming out of your chimney, or smell smoke in the area, and they will find out which chimney it's coming from, then they can theoretically come to your door and write you a ticket. In theory. So, yeah. I really want to get back to that Assassin's Creed multiplayer. It is fun. But
I want to get back to Assassin's Creed single player.
Yeah, I have to finish that up. But it's such a good game for not finishing up. It's so easy. Unlike Grand Theft Auto, although I haven't finished Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5, whatever. Those are both good games for not finishing. But Assassin's Creed is better because the dorking around is a whole lot more fun in that game. I'm really enjoying the sailing around.
I want to finish it because I know there's always more to Assassin's Creed game than there initially seems.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying the and it's, I hate being a bully, but I really enjoy being a bully on the seas. Like, I'm at a level now where if I go into a higher level area on the seas where the ships are harder, I don't have as much fun as just sailing around the easy areas and just like, okay, who do I want to rob now? I need equipment. I need supplies. I need wood. Who has got wood? Ha ha! You are dead to me. Just taking them out.
Yeah, I've purposely stopped using the ships to lower my wanted level. Because I'm like, oh, pirate hunter, bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
I am a pirate. I want to be hunted. And I can kill them in, real quick. 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, pirate hunter my ass. Bring it on. I am god of the seas.
You're our Thursday Nick, the most feared pirate in all of the Caribbean. Yes. But I enjoyed the multiplayer, what little I've played. I'm not going to play it today because today is Tamale Day. You guys probably don't have that much on the East Coast, right?
What's a tamale?
Yeah, December is tamale month. That's when you start.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's a traditional Mexican, I guess mostly Mexico. I was going to say Mexican, South American, and Hispanic, but I think it's mostly Mexican that you go to midnight mass on Christmas Eve, and then you start the tamales cooking beforehand, and then you put them in the steamer, and you go to midnight mass, and when you come back, they're all done. So December has been all about tamales. Like, you go to the store, the supermarkets, any supermarket in the Bay Area, and you'll find masa, big piles of pre-made masa, which is the dough that you smear inside of the corn husk, and then you put the meat inside, and then you wrap it up, and then you steam that, and that's what makes tamale. So I've got my pork all cooked, and it's now just being kept warm. And I've got my corn husks being soaked to get nice and wet. Giggity. And got my California chilies being reconstituted in water. And then today I'm going to make the sauce for the pork. And then I'm going to got my masa, and then we're going to make tamales tonight.
Nice.
Tamale, Splicer wrote, Tamale, I love you, Tamale. You're only a food truck away.
Can we play Saturday now?
Tamales.
It's Saturday. Gotta get down on Saturday.
Hey, did either of you? Well, Goalie, you probably didn't because I think it's only a California lottery. But Nick, did you buy a lottery ticket last night?
No.
Yeah, the California lottery. This was just strictly California. This wasn't Powerball. This was California lottery. Was $630 million, $750 million, $2/3 of $1 billion last night.
I'd be afraid I would win.
And yeah, if somebody, I don't know if anybody won, but if nobody won, they say that Saturday's lottery is going to be $1 billion. I got to see if somebody won. I'm going to see right now.
2 people won.
Did they?
Yep.
Oh, bummer. I spent $80 and got $2.
Yep. Now it's not worth playing. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, you bought 80 tickets?
Well, I bought 80. Yeah, I bought 80 tickets. 20 for me, 20 for Kevin, 20 for my mom, 20 for my dad.
Jesus.
Went over to my dad's place, watched the TV show where they drew the balls, drew the numbers. Because when your dad's bedridden and not very, somewhat cognizant of what's going on, because he's now in that saying crazy shit stuff stage of his process of passing away. And now there's just nothing but crazy stuff. It's all just a bunch of just nod your head and go, yeah, Dad, took care of that, thanks. When you're bedridden and I can't do anything but watch TV, then you try and do stuff that is interesting and makes it a little different. So makes it festive that everybody can participate. So that's what I did. It's worth it. Yeah, Blacks for Void says the Black Girl made a follow-up to Friday Called Saturday. Yeah, Nick was already talking about that. That was part of our news during our regular show.
I'm on top of that shit, man.
He is the Rebecca Black depository of information.
Yeah. Wrote the Wikipedia page on it. Run my own fan site.
Yeah, that's you. So what are we going to play this weekend?
I don't know.
I know what I'm
Like I
playing.
said, I wanna get back into GTA. I'm definitely gonna play Walking Dead.
Yeah, well, Kevin's working, so it's going to be really hard to play Walking Dead. And then I'm busy on Sunday. It's my birthday Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Really?
That's
Day
right.
before
It's
Christmas
the
Eve?
shortest day of the year.
2 days before Christmas Eve, December 22nd.
Shortest birthday of the year.
Yep, shortest birthday of the year. Longest birth night of the year. Every year. And so I guess I'll say it live. I am going to be 47 years old. I am officially pushing 50.
Yeah, I'm right up there with you.
And still talking about video games.
we haven't talked about video
unto
games
adulthood.
yet. We're talking about tamales right now.
Tamales. Tamales and video games? Oh. What Homer Simpson is to donuts, I am to tamales. Seriously, I cannot get enough of those things.
Hey, I don't know if you guys listen to Married Gamers at all. I was guest host this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you talk about? How did it go?
It was kind of game of the year is what it was. They wanted to talk about what if you were to make a game, what would it be? And then it was your game of the year.
Yeah.
And a few other things like that.
And what was the game that you picked?
Of course, I said the game's got to be smooth. I like single player campaign as well as a co-op. Drop in, drop out is a huge plus. I like it to be simple, so you can just click a couple of buttons to play. But if you want to get deep, giggity with crafting and whatever, then you can do that. And so, all that being said, my game of the year was Aliens: Colonial Marines.
Yeah.
No. No,
No, that would
yeah,
be bad.
no. As much as Battlefield 4 almost snuck in for Game of the Year for me, but just too many crashes. It got off to a really bad start. And even though I put in a ton of hours into Battlefield, my Game of the Year that I announced in the Married Gamers, which we haven't talked about yet here, which maybe we could, it was indeed Diablo 3 on Xbox 360. And there were some good ones. There were some good ones. But again, just me personally, the amount of time and enjoyment, and it's one of those things where if you get up early in the morning before work to play a game, or you race home to play a game, or you before you go to bed, you want to get on and play a few minutes, you really like a game, and that's how Diablo 3 was with me. Mm-hmm. So that was it.
What would be your Game of the Year?
Me?
Mm-hmm. Nick.
Probably Last of Us. With Black Flag in a real close second.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Last of the Year, or Last of Us, Best of the Year. With real close, Black Flag. Actually, it's probably I'd go make it a tie. And I'd actually, you know what? I'd give the advantage. No, Last of Us was such a satisfying single player. No, Last of Us. I'd say even though it doesn't there was no multiplayer in Last of Us, I'd still say The Last of Us.
There was.
There was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, it clearly did not make an impression on me.
Yeah, it's not really. It's
Yeah. But I would say my it would be Last of Us, Black Flag, and close third would be BioShock Infinite.
Really?
Yeah, BioShock Infinite is not really high on my list.
Yeah, Kelly Brown's was BioShock Infinite, not to give away their podcast there, but holy smoke. I enjoyed it. It was good. It wouldn't be Game of the Year.
Right.
Not me.
And then my next ones would be Saints Row 4.
Yeah.
And Grand Theft Auto 5 below Saints Row 4. I actually enjoyed Saints Row 4 more than Grand Theft Auto.
Saints Row 4 was fun, but once I did it, I mean, the multiplayer was fun. There was a couple of modes that were pretty fun, but they did wear thin pretty quick. Mm-hmm. It was a fun game. The one-liners, the dialogue, everything was really good. It did wear out on me, though, and I never went back to it.
I like 3 a lot better.
Really? I liked 4 a lot.
I thought 3 was funnier.
No, I think 4 was funnier. I think 4 just had a level of maturity where they'd just taken it so... They took 3 and said, oh, let's have fun with this. And 4, they're like, okay, let's throw out all controls. I mean, just... What was the girl... The girl-on-girl action? Where you're supposed to romance... What was her name? Kylie?
Oh.
Was that her name?
The romance. The romance with... the glasses girl.
The glasses girl, Kylie, I want to say it is. Or she's like, romance her. Hey, Kylie, let's fuck. And then she punches her. That was awesome!
Yeah, but that was also the best joke in the entire game.
That's true, it was. There was a lot of funny jokes. I really enjoyed the gameplay. Really enjoyed the gameplay of that.
Yeah, it was fun. I like
the performances were really good.
Saints Row wouldn't even be on my top 10, but Tomb Raider would be my number 3.
Oh, that's right. I didn't play Tomb Raider, and I should have, because you guys freaking love that game. Kinsey. That's it. Thank you, Shanakin. Kinsey.
Yeah. The only thing about Tomb Raider, though, is it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. It was probably the best Tomb Raider I've ever played. It just, when it was done, that was it. You were done. It just, I didn't want to go back and collect any of the items. I didn't want to go back and play the story again. I didn't want to play multiplayer. It was just, wow, that was awesome, but I don't ever want to play that again.
I don't see that as a bad thing. Like, it was an experience that was completely, it was so satisfying that you don't want to go back.
Yep, it was like a Krispy Kreme donut. It's like, just one is all I need.
Yeah. Well, is there anything wrong with that? That they had a good, satisfying experience that felt whole?
No, I don't think there's at all.
I think that's a good thing.
I think that's what Last of Us had too. Like,
Yes.
I hope they don't make a sequel to that.
Yes.
'Cause
Agreed. That it was perfect the way it is, and to add it on leaves you feeling like they're just going back to the watering hole.
Mhm.
Whereas, like Far Cry 3, which I really enjoyed too, probably as much as Tomb Raider, even though it was a little different game because it was side quests and towers to do and islands or bases to free. When I was done that, I still had collectibles to get, and those collectibles were really fun. And it's
Yeah.
I would go
like
back and play Far Cry 3 again because it was smooth. I liked how it played. And when you got the maps to show you where all the collectibles were, sometimes they were at the bottom of the ocean with sharks around you. Sometimes they were in caves. Sometimes you had to blow a wall up to get at it. It really was fun chasing down the idols and the whatever else there was in Far Cry 3. And that wasn't there in Tomb Raider.
I actually still like Far Cry 3 multiplayer better than most of the multiplayers out that came out this year.
The co-op part there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
that was
co-op
good.
was damn good.
Super good. And they did a good job of being able to bring it out of the console, putting it on the computer, the whole downloading of the information off of the discs
Yeah,
and stuff.
that was a cool little thing.
Yeah. That you didn't need to do it, but if you did do it, it was cool. It was engaging, but not so that if you didn't do it, you felt gimped. No, I really, really enjoyed Far Cry 3's multiplayer. I did not
Which I
enjoy
think
its story.
Makes it weird. None of us played Blood Dragon, did we?
No, and I heard nothing
No.
but fabulous things about it. Didn't play it.
Yeah. Yep, I did too.
I think I got to get that on a Steam sale when it comes
Yeah,
out.
I think I'll probably do the same thing. Yeah, and you guys loved the story. I hated the story of Far Cry 3.
I didn't
It
love the
was
story.
it was depressing.
It was okay.
It was bleak
It was,
and
yeah.
hopeless. And if I want bleak and hopeless, there are better.
Play Last of Us.
They'll play Last of Us, exactly. Well, no,
What do
because
I
there
have
was
to
hope on
play?
that. There is hope in that.
I'll play Aliens. Oh, that was
Yeah.
hopeless. Doesn't
Yeah,
get much more
talk
hopeless
about
than that.
hopeless.
And something I just realized, since we're getting up close to the end of the year or close to Christmas, we did not do our lump of coal yet. We'll have to do that at the beginning of the year, like we did last year.
Oh yeah.
Getting rid of all our awful games, foisting
See,
them
that's the
onto
thing,
one
I don't-
unlucky person.
I
I
already got
don't
rid of
have
my
any
GTA
awful
5.
games.
Hmm?
I don't really have any awful games.
I didn't have that many awful games this year either.
Like,
I guess we could.
usually, I would get review copies of awful games and send them off to people. But now all the bad reviews I had to do were downloadable stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't give those away.
That's
I would
another
love
one of
to.
the casualties of the digital download generation that we're heading into, is that we won't be able to do lumps of coal. We will actually have to buy a
yeah.
copy of something shitty to give to you. Which
Unless it's
means it's not
Xbox
gonna
One,
happen.
then you can't get it out of the drive.
True.
Roaches check in.
They don't check out, fucker.
Is he in the chat room with us now? Did he ever get that discount? Did he ever figure out how to eject a disc from Xbox One?
I don't know. I
you
feel
just
kind
say
of bad about
Xbox
that, but
eject?
then there's a part of me that's like, But did you see the show, the BBC thing where they had the old guy? Oh, I should know these names. I know everybody from Britain is probably freaking out because I don't know him. But they had one of those venerable broad news presenters in the UK who's like 75 years old, but he's been doing it forever and very, very respected. And then they have this new other guy who's kind of a little bit of a legend as far as gaming journalists. He's got a show how video games changed the world, and they brought on the PlayStation 4 onto this guy's show, and he was showing him why video games are important and why they're an art form. But it was right after the PlayStation 4 came out, and this older guy had never ever played a video game before, and they loaded up. What did they load?
I just remembered. He showed off a couple games, but one of them was Papers, Please.
Paper. Oh, that's right. Papers, Please. And the other one was Marvel Lego, like something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, he loaded it up, and the guy, of course, was just kind of essentially being a intentional dolt and saying that this is not fun and people are dying and these are dying. And the other guy was arguing it, but he needed to change the disc on the PlayStation 4. Couldn't figure out how to change the disc either. What's it with hiding the disc buttons? Is this a thing? When you make a console,
you're meant to shut down and eject from the UI.
Right, but it was everything was hidden, and he kept on like pounding on it, and he actually had to get they at one point had two or three assistants on the screen trying to figure out where the button was to eject a disc.
So I kind of made that mistake with PlayStation 4 because the thing is, it's not a button; it's like a touch sensor.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it's basically beneath the disk drive. There's like a little cut in the console. And above the disk drive, if you swipe your finger over that cut, it turns the PlayStation on or off. Below the disk drive, if you swipe your finger over that cut, it ejects the disk.
Sometimes technology companies are trying to be way too smart.
I think in the PlayStation 4 case, it's just style. It's like, hey, look, this looks real cool.
Right, it's
sleek and
form over function.
Button in there to interfere with it. Buttons are ugly. Fuck buttons.
Fuck buttons. We hate buttons. Buttons are old.
Giggity.
Giggity.
My fuck button.
Giggity. So Kevin Bowler says they also say it's now impossible to see your storage on the Xbox One. Do you know how much room you have left? Oh, really? No,
I've heard about that. Basically, you don't kind of have that game by game control over like what you delete and look at. Well, you can delete stuff, but you can't ever look at storage. Like you can't look at, hey, show me a breakdown of my hard drive and what takes up what space.
What? Why?
Because they don't want you to be that. They want to be, I think they're trying to mimic Apple in that, hey, don't worry, we'll take care of everything for you. You don't have to worry about space and things like that. Because
except you have to worry about space.
Automatically delete some stuff.
Right. Right. God, that would make me so mad. Is that if I hadn't gone into, like, say, for example, Mass Effect, I hadn't played Mass Effect for a year or more. When I came back to Mass Effect, if I hadn't had my old Mass Effect saves, when the new Mass Effect game came out, A, information might not be there, but B, I did go back to play it so that I could remind myself of what it was. So, and if
okay, that's the thing. It doesn't delete your saves. Your saves will still be there because they'll be in the cloud.
And they're tiny anyway.
And
true.
the game itself doesn't delete all the way. It deletes down to the playable state, because you can play games while they're downloading.
Mm-hmm.
So if your hard drive gets full, the Xbox will delete a game down to its lowest playable state so that you can say, oh, I want to play this. You stick the disc in, and then you can start playing while it installs.
Oh, well, I guess that's better. It just...
Yeah. It's not starting from scratch.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm good. Because if I went back and my shit was gone, I'd be really, really pissed.
Yeah.
Hey, did you get... I know that you got the next two installments on the Cards Against Humanity 12 Days of Christmas. Yep.
I've been getting a couple. I've been getting some every day.
The religious one was hilarious.
Yep.
yeah. The first there's one card in it that there's always the so obnoxious, so offensive is the answer that just simply the answer. No matter what you do, it will win. Well, do you have that one? I can hear you opening it now. He's got to clear his. Here it
Sorry.
comes. A
I'm
reading
trying
of
to-
poetry by Nick
Okay, I
DiNicola.
see there's one. Okay, there's the religious one, and that's
Right.
different.
Right. The religious
Okay.
one was the card in it where it was like I opened it up and just fell over. So I think you need to do a poetic reading.
Probably-
A poetic reading of that card. This is the answer card that just bowled me over.
Okay, so this is the answer card, the religious one. Moses gargling Jesus' balls, while Shiva and the Buddha penetrate his divine handholes.
So wrong. So wrong.
Personally, my favorite one is because it's so concise in its like biting fuck you humor. The shittier Jewish version of Christmas.
That's the answer. Yeah. And then I guess a couple of days later, we got one. I got one that made me laugh, and I made Nick go open his because he hadn't seen it. And it was a little plasticine pack with 3 little black rocks in it. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized what it is they sent us coal, lumps of coal.
Yeah.
Michael O'Connell's laughing. Yeah, that's what greeted me when I opened that up. It was like Shiva gargling Jesus' balls. What? And then we got another one. Didn't we get one just a couple days ago?
Yeah. Which was okay.
There was no killer
good
card in that one. Do you have it with you? Because I don't know where I put mine.
Yeah, I have all mine right next to me.
Okay, so what are the
Stacked.
cards in the latest deck? Because I forget what the theme is. What was the theme?
Family?
Family. What was it? The back of it's like family. Your fucking family you hate anyway, or something like that.
No, it's you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. But you can choose friends who will murder your family for money.
All right, so here are the cards from inside.
And the question card is, I really hope my grandma doesn't ask me to explain blank again. Which sets up a lot of real good stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite one is making up for 10 years of shitty parenting with a PlayStation.
Yeah.
There's a swapping bodies with mom for a day. Slicing a ham in icy silence.
That's my favorite one of the bunch.
And last is finding out that Santa isn't real.
That's it? Finding out that Santa isn't real?
Yep.
Slicing a ham in icy silence. Straight
good one.
to the point. Good one. So yeah, they're still coming. So far, well worth the $12. Was it $15? $12? I think it was $15.
12.
Was it
12 for 12 days.
Okay, yeah, 12. Well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Well worth it. So, yeah, what are we going to play this weekend? Didn't we ask that a little while ago?
Yeah, GTA, Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah, there's The Walking Dead.
I will at least log into Warframe to get my daily rewards.
Yep.
Yeah, what is that? I got a reward, but I didn't know where to find it or what it was. It was a gun, actually.
It was probably just experience for a gun.
There's a picture of a gun.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's the
I know.
experience for that
That's
gun.
what it does.
Oh.
Because
man.
remember that
For
you
most
don't...
of low level things, it
the-
gives you experience.
Yeah, the whole kind of premise, and you have to kind of wrap your head around that with Warframe, 'cause it's different than every other game in the world, is that it's not about getting a new weapon. It's about upgrading the weapon you have for the most part until you get to a very high level, and then you can start switching out weapons and stuff. But at least until you're, up there quite some ways and playing the game a lot, and we're talking a lot, we're talking hundreds of hours, then you're pretty much just going to get XP for your current weapon. So if you want to kill things more effectively, you don't just switch out weapons and get a new weapon. You go out and upgrade your weapon. And it's mostly about finding out the kind of character you like to play. because I've only played with Excalibur. I have no idea what the other Warframes do, and I know that Excalibur is that's the whole point of it. It's an entry level character or entry level Warframe, and you get far more esoteric and kind of specialized as you get the other Warframes, and they can do very specific things that are kind of cool. But I have to kind of delve into that later. Right now, the whole depth of that game is so intimidating. I just wish that they had a better way of conveying to you this information rather than relying upon somebody telling you how to do it. It's kind of like trying to learn how to have sex by asking the other kids in your class. It's like you may or may not be getting the right information, and there's really only one way to do it, and that's find out, and then, you're going to make a mistake. It's a really bad way.
I had sex with
If you do that, you start thinking sex is some type of gardening simulator.
Well, you were talking about a golden potato.
That's right. That's right. I had sex with one of my teachers.
No.
Yeah, but I was homeschooled. So.
That's gross. God. That is.
Think about it.
This tries to be at least if not a family show, at least family friendly. Then again, there's nothing really more family friendly than that one. Walk in.
The timing on that was perfect.
Dead on.
Absolutely perfect.
Why? What happened?
No, your timing with that. I'm saying I was homeschooled. Excellent delivery.
Walking Dead.
Was it in vacation? We all French kissed. Yeah, but Daddy says I'm the best. Gross.
Grind weapons frames to gain mastery, in which AC Race says grind weapons or frames to gain mastery, in which in turn grants access to more weapons and frames. It's the big circle of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Warframe.
Basically, a lot of grinding.
Yeah, lot. That's pretty much what that game is. It is casual grinding. Giggity.
Nothing wrong with casual grinding.
Casual grinding. Yeah, that does. That's a giggity. If there was one.
Shinakin says, Gamehounds, anything less would be uncivilized.
Yeah. Gotta lower your expectations when you listen to us.
So what else? What else we got to chat about? Any other news that's come up in the last few minutes?
There was one Family Guy.
Yeah.
What else?
There was one piece of news. I saw that apparently for 2013, gaming Kickstarters were the most successful.
Most successful Kickstarters, or gaming Kickstarters were most successful in 2013?
In 2013, gaming Kickstarters earned the most money out of any other type of Kickstarter. Like, more books, movies, art things. Like, Kickstarters related to gaming earned the highest amount of donations.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's kind of been the go-to for most indie game developers, is they're just going straight to Kickstarter now.
I remember me getting frustrated in the middle of the year saying, Jeepers, everybody's got something on Kickstarter now. It's like, I funded that one game that still hasn't come out yet, and Edie won't give me any updates on it, but it's just everything went to Kickstarter. It was just too much. I got turned off in a hurry because everybody had their hand out on Kickstarter.
Right.
And it's just like, and I know it's a good idea, and that's what you got to do for funding and the whole bit, but it got to be everything was there. And I was like, oh, forget it. Just too much.
Mm-hmm.
Too much.
I thought of something, and then the Steam OS is out, so you can make your own Steam box now.
Oh yeah.
So I imagine
install Windows on it too.
I imagine you're going to start seeing a lot of people either doing custom Steam boxes, or that you're really going to start seeing Steam boxes in force out being put out onto the market. The question is, do I want to build my own Steam box? Or do I want to buy one?
I think it comes down to what's going to play on it first. I want to see
Steam.
Yeah, but what games?
All Steam.
Yeah, I want to see.
No, I can't imagine you'd be playing all games on there.
No, man, because it's Linux based. So
Yeah.
True. Well,
Nothing on
if
Linux
you
will
look,
work.
if you look at, no, I guess you could go on Steam and see what plays on the Steam box on Linux, or Steam on Linux.
Assassin's Creed doesn't.
True.
Warframe doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Need for Speed doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we played?
Mm-hmm. This sounds like all the games in a PS4.
I don't think Walking Dead does.
No, Walking Dead does not.
Not Diablo.
Diablo does not. That does not either.
Yeah. That game you're thinking of? No.
Yeah, it doesn't play.
That Linux game, that doesn't play.
Yeah. Linux doesn't even work on Linux.
No, Linux Hero, no.
Linux Hero. And that's about something just came up in my head and then it ran away. That was interesting. It was about OS and what were the games that you just mentioned?
Linux Hero.
No, not Linux Hero. Go back, start from the beginning.
Assassin's Creed, Need for
Battlefield.
Speed, Walking Dead, Battlefield,
Aliens.
Diablo, Warframe.
Monorail. Does it have to do with the monorail?
What's that? Oh, is that Omni 2, the bus simulator?
No.
There's a
Does that
bus.
work on
Wait,
Linux?
that's a bus simulator?
Yeah, it's like a Euro Truck Simulator, but with a bus.
That'd be
I still
awesome.
have yet to play Euro Truck Simulator. I
No,
have
like,
to
that's
do that.
really a thing.
It was
It's
okay. It was a good time waster.
Right.
Omni 2.
That was one of the few games that backing up. Oh, forget it. Forget it. I think all the eggs in my truck spoiled by the time I backed that thing up. I could not back. It doesn't back up straight. It just keeps curving and turning on you. It's weird. It's like trying to get a straw into the top of a McDonald's drink. It just doesn't go in. He's bouncing out. Sucks.
Giggity.
Total giggity.
I'm going to leave that alone. I was going to go in a few different places. It's Christmas.
But we already went there.
I
Right.
don't want to talk about caterpillars.
Kotaku has an article about the greatest video game guns of the year. And it's like if the dubstep gun's not the first one, then fuck it.
That was okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
The dubstep gun was awesome. Once I got that thing, I didn't use anything else.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to bring up. Aha, remembered it. Amazon's PlayStation Network store is up in the UK, which means I would imagine it's probably going to come here too. Hopefully.
Oh, cool.
So you can buy your PlayStation network games on Amazon digital download.
Which is like watching cable TV on your Xbox One.
No, it's like buying a movie on Amazon and having it waiting for you when you get home on PlayStation.
Yeah, but why would you just go to the PlayStation Dash and go to that store and make that one louder?
It goes to 11. Let me look at
I
a
understand something like
PlayStation store. PlayStation
Well, because sometimes the
for
PlayStation
store
can take a long time to load.
Amazon UK. All right. Amazon opens digital PlayStation store in the UK, while Microsoft is slowly ramping up the price of exclusive Xbox One digital games in the UK. Oh, by the way, did you hear about that?
No.
Microsoft raised all the prices of Xbox One games in the UK by £5.
Was that
Raised the price. Didn't cut them. Didn't put them on sale. They raised the price of them
What
all.
was the reasoning for that?
The reasoning behind that, according to Engadget, imagine all that turmoil deciding and this is out of Engadget, James True, all that turmoil deciding whose next-gen colors you were going to wear might have come down to one thing: which one has the launch titles or exclusives you want. Imagine then that that very thing that won you over came back to bite you. For early adopting Xbox One fans in the UK, that's exactly what's happening. Dead Rising 3, Forza Motorsport 5, and Rise are all listed on Xbox Live for a $5 more than they cost at launch. They're now £49.99, up from £44.99. At the time of this writing, it's not all titles that will see you short of a deep sea diver, but Microsoft has confirmed to VG247 that pricing for select digital content has changed since launch, gently reminding us that price and promotions can vary by region. Evidently so.
How many crowns is that?
How many reals? Anyway, so Xbox One is raising its prices on some of its games. Following its launch in the U.S., Amazon has launched the PlayStation Network Store on the other side. Oh, I guess it is out in the U.S. Has launched the PlayStation Network Store on the other side of the Atlantic, letting you buy digital PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita titles, as well as season passes and DLC through its website. Although Amazon offered a number of launch promotions in the US, including a $5 credit on digital orders, the company isn't spreading the love to the UK and currently matches Sony's PSN pricing. However, Sony's decision to let PlayStation owners shop around for digital titles looks set to increase competition, lowering prices, and helping you discover a knack for finding the best game deals. So it's a way to, it's a one-stop shop for all of your digital download needs that isn't PlayStation Network itself. It's good. It's good. It's more places to be able to buy your games that aren't, because before in Amazon, you would, if you bought something on Amazon, if it wasn't a PC game, you had to wait 4 days or 2 days or 3 days or however many days it took for them to get you the disc. You could not buy a game on Amazon unless you bought it disc. Now you can actually buy digital download, which is nice. Nothing?
I just don't see why you just can't go to the PlayStation Store and your PlayStation 4.
I agree. I think it's cool.
I mean, it's a good idea, but I guess it's another place to buy it. I don't know. It's like Starbucks selling Dunkin' Donuts coffee, I guess.
Kevin Bolware says Goalie was into necrophilia and bestiality, but he quit cold turkey. You got to use that one. You got to use that one someday. That's awesome.
He's going to get the cold shoulder.
Kevin Bolwer said, did anyone see where someone did a comparison of digital to disc copies of new games? Apparently compared to 10 games he wanted from digital and Amazon prices. The digital versions cost over $130 more. That makes sense. Just to say, it doesn't make sense that I can believe that. And I don't understand why digital downloads aren't way cheaper. I mean, if this is the thing, is that the console makers have all said they want to move towards digital downloads. Absolutely, positively, they're doing everything they can to make sure that you buy these games digital download, getting rid of discs. This is the way of the future. Blah. One way to ensure that we buy digital download, make the digital download cheaper. Duh, you stupid motherfuckers.
He said the digital was more.
Exactly. They should be making the digital versions of everything $5 to $10 cheaper. Do you want us to switch to digital download? Don't give us a box and then say, you can't buy used games and all this other crap. No. Don't push out games until it's digital's available day one. You want us to buy digital? You want digital to be the wave of the future? Drop the price. Drop the price of digital. Guarantee you people will tase each other to get a deal on a $5 discount on a game on Black Friday. What the fuck do you think people would do with digital downloads? They would sell their mothers. They would not be bitching about discs if you got it $10 cheaper. Nobody would complain about discs, about how they don't have a hard copy and they want to have it, and legacy and used games and blah, blah, blah. If you got it $10 cheaper, you'd buy it. You'd belly up to the bar.
Yeah.
If it's not cheaper, then they're going to have to give us something else to make it worth our while. Because once you buy digital, that's it. You own it. There's no trading in.
Right.
There's no lending it. There's no GameStop.
Right.
That's it. It's you.
There are inherent advantages to being physical media.
Yep.
Make it
now,
worth my while.
Now.
Right. And
So,
then here's the scheme, and it's a terrible way to do it, but it's kind of like when you boil a lobster, you don't drop the lobster in the hot water, it's going to scream. No, you put the lobster in warm water and then turn up the heat. Drop all the prices for digital downloads by $10 until the vast majority of everybody is buying digital downloads, and then slowly start ramping up the prices back to where you want them to be. If that's what you want. If you want digital downloads to be the way of the future. If you want to change the game buying paradigm, that's what you do.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yeah, and Kevin Bowler said, I would complain. I want the disc. Go ahead. Get the disc. It'll cost you $10 more than if you buy, which makes sense. The disc and all that shipping and all that stuff should cost more. It should. It costs more to make a disc. This whole digital download thing is really a way of increasing prices it's making more money without increasing prices. It's by dropping the costs. That makes sense because game prices have not kept up with the costs of making games. Absolutely has not done that. And that is hurting the industry. That being said, if something costs more to make than other way, then the more expensive production method should cost more. You're getting something for it. You're getting a physical disc. Don't charge more for the disc. Drop the price of the digital. Make that the main way that most people get games, so that you change a whole way of thinking. Make everybody okay with not having the disc. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Erase that fear-driven reticence of doing digital download, because that's a lot of what it is. It's fear. It's fear that someone can take away your games. Once everybody gets used to it, then slowly bring the prices back up. Or bring the prices of it back up to your regular $60 a title for digital downloads and make it $65 or $70 a title for a disc. It'll take a few years, but it's the right way, the effective way of getting everybody to switch to digital. Yeah, and Kevin Boulware says it doesn't right now. It would cost me more to buy digital. Exactly. It's on its head completely. Total bass backwards.
Well.
Wait for sale.
Yeah. And Kevin, the hosts don't buy used games. I don't really buy used games. I've had nothing but problems. I will buy a used game if it's an older used game. I will not buy a used game that it's like a brand new title. The last time I bought a used game was Saints Row 4 and ended up spending more for it than if I'd have bought it new, because I had to buy the season pass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, they don't do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore, but that was the thing. That's what they said. Oh, they don't do that anymore, and people were buying them used. And then, of course, they get home, and it's like, oh, I need to buy a season pass. You told me they didn't do that anymore. So, right, they did it after that point. I have no
problem getting used games. I've bought a bunch of used stuff from GameFly.
Yeah, I'll buy it from GameFly.
Good year-end sales where they put things on. I even bought a bunch of used stuff from GameStop.
I don't like buying at GameStop. No, that's the other thing, is that if I can avoid buying something at GameStop, I will avoid buying at GameStop, because I don't like GameStop at all. I don't like the practices, don't like their business model, don't like what they do to the industry, don't like the way they smell, don't like their face. Don't like their attitude.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I don't like GameStop. So I won't buy GameStop. And GameStop is where all of these games go. So I don't buy used games so much. I forget that the GameFly is there. That I should actually look that up now because it's year end, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and GameFly is awesome for anything with one of those DLCs and season passes and the extra codes where you get extra sweet stuff because those are usually unused in the pack. If you buy it from GameFly. Nick was the one that turned me onto that. Uh-oh. Dog alarm's going to go off again, just so you know. Another package showed up.
All right.
Yay. I love Christmas. Yep, here's the FedEx guy. All right, so what else do you guys want to talk about? What's on your mind? What do you think?
One story. Apparently, the sales for Call of Duty Ghosts have been down 19% from last year. And Activision warned people like, yeah, that's expected because people are holding off making a purchase while they transition to a new console. And then other analysts were like, oh, but we're still worried about that because there's been an extra week of sales on 360 and PS3 that this hasn't, from last year. And it hasn't made up the slack for it.
Right.
So,
oh, I've heard a lot of people complaining about Ghost.
Ghost was good.
Really? I've heard people say not good. I've heard people say
good.
it was just more of the same. Blah.
Yeah, it was
good.
more the same. It was fine.
It's more the same, but you know what? It's good. We're going to reinvent the shooter. No, we're just going to make a fun shooter. And they did that in spades.
It was more like Modern Warfare than it was Call of Duty, at least the single-player campaign.
Kind of, but I thought the single-player game campaign was great because it kind of went to some really crazy, absurd places. You fight underwater. You get into a shootout in space. Like, it's crazy, and it's dumb, but in an awesome way. Like, I feel like Call of Duty has evolved to embrace the absurdity that is, like, the single-player shooter campaign. Whereas Battlefield 4 was still like, okay, we got to take ourselves real seriously. This is a real, serious, dramatic war, and we're going to try to be real emotional about it. And Call of Duty's like, fuck it, go to space. And I appreciate that.
You mean like Saints Row 4 did that you didn't like?
But see, I think Saints Row took it a bit too far. Like, Saints Row 3 was great, but Saints Row 4, well, I appreciate what they did with the game, you know, like being able to jump everywhere. That was real fun, but I just like the story. I didn't think it was as funny. And like, yeah, I think it was more fun to play, but it just wasn't as funny. And the humor was like the best part of Saints Row 3. It was just constantly being surprised by what happens, constantly laughing at it. Like, I didn't laugh a lot when playing Saints Row 4.
Oh, I did.
Like, the biggest laughs were in the first hour.
There was some great
Am I cutting out?
one-liners.
There were a lot of good one-liners. Did you finish Saints Row 4?
Yeah.
I don't believe I finished it. I'm terrible, aren't I? That goes into the pile of shame. I'm going to have to deal with that pile of shame right now because Saints Row 4 I didn't finish. Grand Theft Auto I didn't finish. I'm probably not going to finish Assassin's Creed. Just I can already tell. See, now Pimp Daddy Joel P says that you're right with Saints Row 4 or Saints Row 3 over Saints Row 4. I'm also about Saints Row 4 over Saints Row 3. I love the gameplay so much more on 3 than I did on 4 than I did on 3, and I believe that somebody else was in my corner on that one.
I did not like 3 at all.
I liked 3, but I really loved 4. I thought the gameplay was so much more superior.
4 was cheesy, and that was a good way to put it. Like, 3 was funny, and 4 was cheesy.
Saints Row 1 was awesome. Saints Row 1. That was the shit. If you have not seen it, this is ancient because it's back from the PlayStation, from the Saints Row 1 years. Look up Saints Row the musical. Somebody actually wrote a musical based on the bugs in Saints Row. And they're really, really good. Whoever did it is very talented. And then, of course, the video itself is showing what the bugs are. So it's essentially very entertaining and it's very catchy, but it shows you how fraught that game was and how much of an achievement Saints Row 2 and 3 were from the original Saints Row. And I did not like the original Saints Rows because they took themselves too seriously. When they realized they shouldn't take themselves seriously and just to keep going with that, that's where it started to work. But I did like 4's gameplay. Even if the humor probably was a little funnier in 3, I think the gameplay was much better, especially the co-op gameplay, much better in 4.
I like 4. I just like everything about it.
Aliens Colonial Marines on GameFly, which means that you can also get the season pass or whatever the extra added download code is going to be active in the box. $12.99. I can't believe that thing is still $12.99. One of the worst games ever made, and it's still $13 after all this time. That's the same price as Grand Theft Auto 4, by example.
I'm actually surprised Grand Theft Auto 4 is $15, considering how old it is.
Yeah, but it's also still a really goddamn good game. Probably one of the best games of all time. In fact, I will go out on a limb and say the greatest game ever made to date, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Grand Theft Auto 4?
Yeah.
No.
Way better than Grand Theft Auto 5, I think.
Better than Red Dead Redemption?
Better than Oh, God, yes. Better than Red Dead Redemption.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yep. I know that's
really
offending
loves it,
goalie for me to say that. But yeah, I think Grand Theft Auto 4 was far more compelling to me than Red Dead Redemption.
Huh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 4 is good.
Yeah. I'd even say it was great, but maybe not best game of all time great.
What would you say?
Best game of all time?
You're going to say Last of Us because you're such a whore.
No, not Last of Us. I don't know. It'd have to be something older. Like, see, okay, that's just a stupid question. What's the best game of all time?
Come on,
That's
what's the
just
best
dumb.
game of all time?
You can't.
You can say what's
answer that.
You can say what's your favorite game that you've ever.
All right,
played.
fine. Favorite game, whatever. However you want to couch it to make yourself feel better, but it would still be, in your opinion, the best game of all time.
No, it would be favorite game, not best. The difference between best and favorite.
I've had so many. I mean, you can't. It's like saying what's your favorite song. Well, there's so many songs that I want to listen to at different times of the day, at different times of my life. What I liked 20 years ago that I played a million times, I wouldn't play anymore. But at the time, it was my favorite.
At the time, right? Exactly. That's why I'm saying best game of all time.
It's like saying who's your best friend. Well, is he your best friend now, or was he your best friend 20 years ago?
Look. They do this. They do this
for
for books too. You're making it you're taking it way too seriously here. Nobody is going to nail you to a wall because you've made a list of the best games of all time, and it's wrong. If you don't want to actually rank it, that's fine. But somebody said Citizen Kane was the best movie of all time, and a lot of people will argue that fact, but a lot of people agree with it. There's nothing wrong with somebody arguing your decision.
I've never seen it.
I know most people haven't. Nick, I'm disappointed in. I'm disappointed in. Really, you haven't seen Citizen Kane?
No.
Have you seen? Here's another one. Have you seen It's a Wonderful Life?
No. I actually don't have any interest in seeing
I've
that.
never seen it start to finish. But
I have never seen it either.
All those. I watch them all when they come on.
Have you seen Lawrence of Arabia? Peter O'Toole died.
No, but I would actually watch that one.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Like that and Ben-Hur are like the two kind of old epics that I
Ben-Hur, not so much. Lawrence of Arabia, fucking rock your world. Seriously. Oh, such a good movie. So beautiful to look at. Oh, yeah.
Does it have boobs?
Lawrence of Arabia. No, I don't believe so. They might have some. But if you haven't seen it, in honor of the passing of the great Peter O'Toole, I think it was 81. Last week, go see Lawrence of Arabia. They're showing it tomorrow night at my little playhouse and movie house in downtown Point Richmond. I'm gonna head over there and see that because Kevin hasn't seen it. I haven't seen it in years. But wow, is it good?
Okay, to answer your question, favorite game of all time, I think
Best game, yes.
it might have to be favorite.
Best.
Like a tie between Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and Shadow of the Colossus.
Never played Shadow of the Colossus. That was Tim Schafer, right?
No.
No, I'm thinking
Not even
Grim
close.
Fandango. I've got to play Grim Fandango. I've heard like that probably would end up being best game of all time for me.
And see, I don't want to say that. That's putting kind of undue
I've
expectations
heard
on it.
such amazing things about that. And I gotta
Man, if
do
you
it.
go into a game expecting it to be the greatest thing you've ever played, you're kind of guaranteed come away disappointed 99% of the time.
Kevin Bulwer says, my wife and I have watched It's a Wonderful Life every year for the last 20 years, and she has never stayed awake through the whole movie. It's a tradition.
I don't see how someone could... I don't get how people can do that, like watch a movie every year. Like, at some point, after like the 5-year mark, don't you just like say, you know what, I've seen it 5 times, I don't want to watch it again.
I don't know, Nick. Every time this time of year, well, it's only this time of year when the Christmas Carol comes on, and there's like 37 of them. I watch them all.
I'm kind of
love-
scared. I'm kind of
Really?
scared. Dudes out on my street, something just happened that scared me, and I don't know if it should. The gas and
What?
light Nazi just drove up in front of his house, in front of our house, stopped in the street, looked over at our house several times, started writing in his clipboard, then looked at our house again, finished writing in his clipboard, and now has parked.
Are you burning anything?
No! And it is a spare the air day, but no, I'm not burning anything right now.
That is weird.
But that's the gas.
Yeah.
The gas. No, and that's PG&E. That would be the air Nazi. No, this is the gas and light Nazi.
You have gas.
And now he's
Do you have-
backing
do you have your
up,
lights on?
and now he's driving away.
I think
He drove
it's
into our
actually-
driveway and then backed up and then drove away. What the fuck was that?
I think that's actually a serial killer who's scouting
Nick,
location.
no, that's not cool.
No, it was definitely. Well, actually, no, that was a pretty shitty truck, but it did say PG&E on it. I believe it was the PG&E guy.
It could just pulled into a driveway so that he could back up.
No, but he was looking at our house and writing on his. It's like checking our address and then looking on his clipboard and checking our address and wrote something down and then pulled into the driveway and then just pulled out and drove away.
Maybe he was a Gamehounds fan who wanted to say hello, but then he was too shy and chickened out at the last second.
They saw the spike and like I started to draw down on the grid.
I think he was waiting to see what your game of the year was going to be. He was listening in.
It's like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I loved Red Dead Redemption. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Don't hurt me. All right. So anyway, what were you saying before the gas Nazi came?
Monorail?
Yeah, Monorail. I love Monorail. Have you played Monorail?
I play it all the time. It's such a one-way game, though.
Oh,
Well, you can go back and forth.
Yeah, just a one destination. Though.
right. He has a
Yeah,
one-track
yeah,
mind.
that's
It's
true.
okay. L.A. Thank you. L.A. Noir. I put up there on my list.
Oh, that was terrible.
It's a great game.
L.A. Noire was great. I wouldn't say one of the best ever.
Did not like it. No, sir, did not like it.
I have to give it credit for being a real technological breakthrough that unfortunately will be lost to time because Team Bondi were such dickheads. But technologically, it was fan-freaking-tastic. And absolutely drew you in for an open-world game. that was very GTA-ish in its driving around, did an amazing job of capturing the look and the feel, not only of the city itself, but also the feel of the vehicles in the era before power steering. He did a really nice job with that. And I love the fact that it was dealing with a very gritty topic without shame. It did not turn away. It did not sugarcoat or shy away from the topics of which it was dealing with, which was brutal murders of women, usually. Mm-hmm. I loved the fact that you were inspecting things. You were trying to figure stuff out, that you had to... What a tremendous concept. You had to read faces in order to figure out who was lying when you were interrogating someone. And it was hard, really hard, to figure out if someone was lying.
I didn't like it. Just didn't like it, sorry.
I just wonder if that technology will be used in a future game at some other time. The actual use of actors as well. I mean, they all use actors, but they're the method of making the photorealistic, micro movements of everyone's face, so that you were like, it was like watching a movie. Great.
You know what got me? I was watching. This is kind of completely off topic.
Yeah.
I was watching a making of Thor: The Dark World. It was like a special effects reel to kind of show how they did the special effects reel. Also, Kevin Boulware, right on.
Fuck you. I was just about to say, Kevin Boulware, you're dead to me. He just wrote Heavy Rain is better than L.A. Noire. No, you're dead to me. You don't exist anymore in my life. Goodbye.
They were showing, the special effects reel was showing how they made this like opening battle scene in Thor: The Dark World. And in particular, it was a scene of like, the space Vikings versus the space elves. And what surprised me is that it was almost all CG, but it was like all motion captured. So when they showed it, they showed a bunch of people in a mocap studio, acting out all the things. But then they had a cameraman, like in a mocap suit, with a camera that was like a motion capture camera. And so as these guys were doing their choreography fight, this cameraman was there filming it. And it was like he was filming the live action things. Like it was like the camera was physically in that world, even though none of it had been created yet. And it was like, wait a minute, this is how they make video games. Mm-hmm. And this was for the opening scene of the movie. And it just kind of blew my mind how similar those two things have become.
Yeah.
Like blockbuster movies, almost quite literally video games in how they're made.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Kind of starting with The Matrix.
Yeah.
Matrix
is whole with the idea that like, when the camera spins around, everything else is digital.
Right.
Like the actors are real, but the world is all fake.
Right.
And that blew people away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's a camera perspective and moving perspective, and yeah, that instead of it all just being about.
I'd always wondered how they got that handheld camera movement in some of those CG heavy scenes, and realizing that they essentially put a camera on a motion capture stage and do it through there was pretty neat.
Kevin Boulware says the best way to test chat lag is to mention Heavy Rain and count how long until Edie blows up.
That's true.
3, 2, 1, and there it is.
I would
fucking
say
hate Heavy Rain. God, I hate Heavy Rain. Fucking, I just hate that game.
Is on my top 10 list of best games of the generation.
Only because I hate it so much. No, you don't like it. You didn't like it half as much until I started hating it, and then you loved it.
No, not at all.
You're an asshole, just like Heavy Rain.
I think it is a game that has a lot of serious flaws, but I also think the ambition it shows is it is the most ambitious game.
Hitler had a lot of ambition and some serious flaws too. That's all I'm going to say. I hate that game. God, I hated that game. Oh. There was like 2 minutes at the end where it was like, hey, that's pretty cool. And then it just, whatever happened, just like tore it away from me. When dude didn't die.
There's so much about that game that every other blockbuster developer could learn from.
I'm not even going to participate in this. You're just goading me at this point. It's just
Goading.
You are. It's like tossing a pork chop in front of a pit bull. That's all you're doing right now, and I just refuse to play to this game. But I hate that game. God, I hate that game. Can we talk about something else, please?
Yeah. I actually want to jump up and play some Battlefield. We've been recording for 3.5 hours. I want to play some Battlefield.
Yeah, it might be good. I'm going to have to go put some stuff on the stove for making tamales, and then I'll be playing.
If I hurry, I can have sex when the wife comes home.
Cold turkey. You've been stuffed.
Gonna heat up some gravy.
All right. On that note, let's get out of here. All right. Here's my button. There's my button.
Yes, it is.
Giggity. Let's close this out. You have been listening to Gamehound's Happy Endings, episode 34. We've recorded this on Wednesday, December 18th, 2013. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Holly Goalie, Nick DiNicola. If you want to get a hold of of us, there's a couple ways to do it. Our website, gamehounds.net. You can also send us email at gamehounds@gmail.com. Another great way to get a hold of us is send a text or a voicemail to our text and voicemail line. That number is
304-300-9889.
And I want to send a Christmas shout out to Piss Boy, who is our social media manager, and our social media would be Facebook. That's facebook.com/The Gamehounds. He keeps the hot topics and video gaming running up there as fast as he can repost them. He searches the web for you, so you don't have to. Check it out at facebook.com/The Gamehounds. Also, you can follow our Twitter. Our Twitter is gamehounds.net. Twitter.com/Gamehounds. And you can also go twitter.com/GamerGoalie. That's Goalie's email, Twitter feed. And Thursday Nick, who is just a ball of Christmas spirit. If you mean Christmas spirit by wishing death upon you all. Yep. And that would be twitter.com.
Saint Thursday Nick.
Yep. Saint Thursday Nick. That would be twitter.com/Thursday Nick. I guess that's it. Is that all the things I needed to mention? Oh, Spreaker. Hey, subscribe to us on Spreaker. If you're listening to us now, you're probably live, then you're definitely already here. But if you're listening to us after the fact, definitely sign up for Spreaker. That way you can listen to us live and participate in the chat room. That's Spreaker.com/Gamehounds. And please, if you are listening to this show and you have not already subscribed to us on iTunes, do subscribe to Gamehounds. There's 2 different feeds. One is for Happy Endings, Gamehounds Happy Endings. The other one is for Gamehounds. Both of our shows show up in each of those respective ones. And we would love to have you send us some feedback. I haven't asked for feedback in a while. I think I have the last couple of weeks. But yeah, if you could leave us feedback in iTunes, just so that people know what to look for and what to expect when they listen to a Happy Ending show or a Gamehound show, that would be really appreciated. And I'm sure the people reading it would appreciate it too. It's very helpful for them. It's helpful for us. Thank you, Shonikin, and everyone else. Kevin, AC Wraith, Black Sphere Void. Who else? Rest in the Jason Webb. There was another one, brand new listener, Pimp Daddy, baby. Thank you for listening in the chat room. Jaeger, Barbara, I think was in here earlier. If I forgot you, sorry, but thank you very much for all the Christmas wishes, and thanks for listening and being in the chat room. And we will talk to you next week. Good night, everyone.